What are the top real estate markets for 2023? Well, Zillow has Charlotte at the top of the list. And I'm a real estate agent in Charlotte. I'm Roger Holloway. Got a great team of buyer agents. We also list and sell. Boy, we would love to help you if you're coming this way. And maybe this video has come on your radar because you are thinking about relocating to the Carolinas. Well, Zillow. Well, you love them or you hate them. If you're a subscriber to my channel, you know my view. If you're not, maybe by the end of the video, I'll persuade you to click subscribe and join my tribe. But I just want to talk about these 10 markets. Hey, I'm old enough that I've been to many, if not most of these. Let's see if I have. I think I have. So number one is Charlotte. You can see it on the map, number one right here. And obviously that caught my attention that we are one of the hottest real estate markets, the number one on Zillow. Of course, if you know how I feel about Zillow, a lot of inaccurate information, but that's because they have expired listings and they're more about getting you to call that premier agent that they're selling leads to. Hey, I earned the right to have you watching me and calling me because, hey, I post videos every day on YouTube. All right, guys. So Charlotte is number one. How do they get this data, by the way? There's a link in the description of this video. So click through if you want to read the article on Zillow.com. They talk about home value appreciation. They talk about supply and demand. They talk about new construction and trends. And so that's all what we're all about, by the way. And you'll find out if you call me. And by the way, if you call me and I don't answer the phone, I'm buying you lunch. But I'm probably going to buy you lunch anyway. And you're probably going to call anyway. I hope you will. All right, number two is Cleveland, Ohio. Here's what I don't get about the top three. The top three, Charlotte, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh, you know, what's the difference? What's the what's the same? What's the different? What's the same? Well, what's the difference is Cleveland and Pittsburgh are cold, baby. Those are like up, you know, near the Great Lakes. Oh, that wind coming into Cleveland. Oh, Pittsburgh. I don't know. Those are great towns, by the way. But I moved south from Indianapolis right here. I moved from Indianapolis down to Hilton Head, South Carolina. I want to get away from the snow. How about you? And so that's my thing. In other words, thinking about relocating for you, why, if you can live anywhere, why would you want to live somewhere cold? I guess maybe you like it. I don't know. I like being away from it. In Charlotte, we have 1 or 2 snow events a year typically, and it's in January right now, and it's the kind of the coldest month of the year. But let me check, 53 degrees here in the middle of January. You know, that ain't bad. And so Charlotte's number one. Cleveland, it's a great town. Been there. Love the rock and roll museum. Michael Simon, the chef, has got, I think it's called Mabel's there in Cleveland. So they're, you know, I'm sure it's a great town. Number 3, Pittsburgh. I used to not like Pittsburgh, and I remember being chewed out by a Pittsburgh person when I made a disparaging remark in my ignorance, to be clear. Pittsburgh, I love to visit Pittsburgh. I don't think I've even, that's probably the one on here I've never been to. But I would like to go. I'm intrigued by it now. I'm sure it's a great town. I'm intrigued by the entrepreneurial, history from Heinz. Been caught up on this History Channel series called The Foods That Built America. That Heinz story, very interesting, very important part. And then there's steel. Number 4, Dallas. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been to Dallas a number of times, and Dallas is a great town. Dallas, Fort Worth, great town. May end up back there sometime, maybe to live. I don't know. I mean, Texas and Florida, come on, those are 2 great states that people are moving to for sure now. And I heard on the radio today, Tom Brady might be having moved from, the Boston area down to Florida. Here's what we call a halfback. Somebody that starts up north, moves all the way down to Florida and realizes it's pretty hot down there, and then comes halfway back. What's number 1 on the list? Charlotte. Yeah, you never know. Brady might end up being our next quarterback, but we call those halfbacks. They move all the way down and they come halfback, but he's a quarterback. See what I did with that? All right, so again, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee. Wow. I mean, great town, right? Great town. Tennessee, one of those states like Texas and Florida, a lot of people moving to, and Tennessee is beautiful. I mean, but Tennessee is different when you go all the way over to like Paducah, Kentucky, right there, and you go over to Memphis, Tennessee. That's much different from Eastern Tennessee, and much different, really, even from Nashville. And by the way, as I'm thinking about it, this last year in 2022, I was in Nashville. I was in another one of these cities called Kansas City, Missouri. And so I got to appreciate them, right? And so number 5 is Nashville. The obvious, City Brewery is. I went there. They have I think it's called City Brewery. They have it's just a great operation. They got some really cool music people playing, but there's music all over Nashville. There's no doubt about that. Number 6 is Jacksonville. Now, Northern Florida, I could live there, honestly. Probably not Southern Florida, but Northern. You've got Northern, of course. You've got over on the Gulf side. You've got everything from Pensacola. Patty and I flew from the Charlotte's regional airport, which is called Concord Regional Airport. Some great flights from the Charlotte area, from the Concord Airport down into Florida, and one of them was Destin. That's some pretty stuff right along there. Now, Jacksonville over on the Atlantic side, a lot of spread out. You go to Fernandina Beach, and there's some great places to go there. And so that's one of the hottest real estate markets, Jacksonville. 7, Kansas City. Now, I'm not sure about that, but by the way, I got my chicken and pickle shirt on, was in Kansas City this last year, and ended up at Chicken and Pickle most every day to eat. It's a pickleball, 8 courts, 4 indoor, 4 outdoor, and a great chicken restaurant. And I'm wearing my chicken and pickle shirt, baby. I'm just saying. And they want to come to the greater Charlotte area. We have another one called Raleigh that's working on being opened up here, which very similar, a restaurant and a pickleball court. So that's cool. So that is Kansas City, Missouri. Was there last year. Number 8, Miami. Of course, been to Miami. Very cool, very lovely. The Beatles have stories about when that, 64, them going there. But I digress. I saw them a few months earlier back in Indianapolis. And let me ask you this question while I'm digressing. What's the best concert you ever saw in your life? Me, Jimi Hendrix up here in greater Chicagoland, 1969. And no, he wasn't opening for the Monkees, although he did open for the Monkees. That's a whole nother story. You see my gold record on my wall. That's from Jeffrey Osborne's LTD Back in Love Again album. Call me, I'll tell you the story. Number 9, Atlanta. Now, again, kind of our 85 rivalry. You take I-85 from Charlotte, number 1, over to number 9, Atlanta. Atlanta's a great town, but I wouldn't want to live there. The traffic. Now, maybe we're headed that way in Charlotte because everybody's moving to Charlotte, but there's a lot of traffic in Atlanta. No, thank you. By the way, on that food that History Channel series I aforementioned about Heinz, Food That Built America, the Coca-Cola story is pretty remarkable. Yeah, that was a good one. So you've got Atlanta. And then 10, Philly. Met somebody from Philadelphia just the other day. I think they were here in Charlotte. Yeah, we were at a play uptown Charlotte, and they were from Philly. And so Philly, I mean, the roots, come on. It's a great town. But it's cold. So no, thank you. So number 1 is Charlotte. Again, do a search on the average temperatures in the cities that you're thinking about going to. We help people relocate to Charlotte, and we make it easy. And also, I've got so this is North Carolina, and this is South Carolina. I've got broker partners all through the coast. And by the way, if you live in Charlotte, you can wake up tomorrow morning and say, I'm going to have lunch at Myrtle Beach. That's the closest one. A little like 3.5, not quite hours away. Or Hilton Head, a little over 4 hours away. You could go to Wilmington, North Carolina. You could go, up and down to Charleston. They've got several beaches outside of Charleston. Man, there are some great places that you can go to. And in Charlotte, you can head about 2 hours right over here to Asheville. You could go to the mountains, close to the mountains, close to the beach. Hey, I'm a Charlotte fan. Love it. So, guys, hopefully I've helped you. Go to RogerHollowayHomes.com. It's also in the description below. And look for my tab called Schools and Communities. And you can click through over into lifestyle. You can look up tax rates. You can get to know the area, and love for you to do that. RogerHollowayHomes.com. Look at that front page for schools and communities. Hey, guys, subscribe, like, share, all the stuff the kids do. Couple it with a phone call. I'm old school, and I do answer my phone. Otherwise, I'll buy you lunch. But I'll probably buy you lunch anyway. 704-345-3400. Hit me up. You call. I'll see you in the next video.